want to stand up and beg for buttermilk. Ass like a 10-year-old boy.
You remember the explosions, the tuxedos, the tango that went from awkward to iconic. True Lies wasn't just a movie, it was the moment action films stopped taking themselves so seriously and somehow became even more dangerous. But what if the real story wasn't what happened on screen, but everything that nearly went wrong behind it? This wasn't just James Cameron showing off, it was chaos dressed as choreography, missed cues, real fears, mechanical birds, and jokes hidden in prop cabinets. You thought it was a spy flick. It was a beautiful mess wearing a bow tie. And if you enjoy digging beneath the surface of classic films like this, hitting subscribe really helps us get closer to that first 1,000 milestone so we can keep making deeper, weirder, and better content for you. Now let's unmask the strange truth behind True Lies. Here are 15 mind-blowing facts about True Lies you didn't know. 1. The CIA pizza guy with a real-life spy past. In the opening moments, a pizza delivery guy nearly blows Harry's cover. Turns out the actor was once an actual intelligence operative. Not a trained actor, but someone who'd infiltrated a South American weapons ring during his covert years. Cameron allegedly cast him after a chance conversation during location scouting. Though his role is barely a blip on screen, his credentials gave the moment eerie realism. That nervous glance, real, that awkward gait, authentic paranoia. You weren't just watching a cheesy scene, you were watching a man pretending not to be the thing he used to be. Spy fiction met spy truth. 2. That tango scene was hell for the stunt double. The sultry tango wasn't easy, especially not for Jamie Lee Curtis's stunt double. She hated ballroom dancing. Worse, she was allergic to synthetic fabrics used in her dress, breaking into hives between takes. She pushed through coughing fits and dizziness to keep continuity. Her reward? Barely a few seconds on screen. Yet her misery gave the dance a chaotic elegance. Twirling too fast, arms too stiff. Cameron loved it. Said it looked like emotional confusion. The double called it hell in heels. You see sensual chemistry. Behind the lens, it was sweat, sneezing, and stubborn professionalism masquerading as sexy espionage. 3. Arnold's smile hid a franchise secret. In the ballroom sequence, Arnold's character catches sight of Helen dancing. His smirk, equal parts amused and impressed, feels oddly layered. That's because it wasn't scripted. Off camera, Arnold had just been told that Cameron greenlit ideas for 2 sequels pending box office. The reaction, pure Schwarzenegger satisfaction caught in the act. Cameron kept it, saying it's the most honest he looks all movie. So when you watch Harry flash that crooked grin, you're not seeing a spy amused by his wife's seduction. You're watching a man celebrating future paydays, wrapped in a tux, pretending to play surprised husband. Fiction meets forecasting. The helicopter almost crashed, and they filmed it anyway. During filming, a low-flying helicopter scraped a high-tension wire disguised as part of the set. It sent sparks flying, causing chaos among crew and extras. Arnold wasn't on board, but he witnessed the near disaster from a rooftop. Miraculously, no one was injured, and the footage, brief, shaky, electrifying, was partially reused in the final cut. Cameron reportedly said, "If we survive it, we use it." The line between stunt and accident blurred. That tense aerial shot you admire. It's not choreography, it's controlled panic immortalized on film. You thought it was planned. It wasn't. You thought it was CGI. It definitely wasn't. 5. James Bond was almost in the ballroom. James Cameron originally wanted Pierce Brosnan to make a silent cameo in the tango scene as a tuxedoed ballroom judge months before his official Bond debut. The meta-nod was meant to layer irony. 007 judging an American spy couple fumble through elegance. Brosnan was interested but dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. Yet some international cuts allegedly include a background extra resembling him, prompting rumors of a stealth cameo. Cameron later denied it, but the idea persisted. So next time you pause the scene mid-tango, don't just look at the footwork, scan the crowd. You might just spot the Bond who wasn't. 6. The desk was actually bulletproof just in case. During one of Harry's escape scenes, he hides behind a desk as bullets ricochet. Most props? Hollow. This desk? a steel-plated beast custom-built by the props department. Why? One overcautious producer demanded extra protection in case of blank misfires or faulty pyrotechnics. No one admitted it on set, but everyone knew the hero of the shot wasn't Schwarzenegger, it was furniture-grade armor, and when bullets sparked across it mid-scene, Cameron yelled, "Don't cut." The tension you felt watching it, that wasn't fiction, it was insurance paranoia baked into the frame. A desk saved a hero, possibly a crew member, maybe both. 7. The prop file labeled Kryptonite was a crew joke hidden in a blink and you'll miss it moment. Inside Omega Sector's tech lab sits a filing cabinet. One folder, barely visible, reads Kryptonite, not for crying. That wasn't in the script. It was an inside joke by the props team, referencing Schwarzenegger's legendary rivalry with Superman actor Christopher Reeve and poking fun at the absurdity of spy gadgetry. It was meant to be a wink. Even the most invincible heroes have their soft spots. Cameron noticed and kept it in, saying it gave texture. You weren't supposed to see it, but if you did, congratulations. You found a nerd Easter egg. 8. Jamie Lee Curtis feared fire more than falling. You've probably seen the behind-the-scenes clip of Jamie Lee Curtis doing her own helicopter rescue stunt. What you haven't heard? That she was less scared of dangling over Los Angeles than acting near open flames. The film's climax required her to navigate flaming corridors and explosion-heavy set pieces. She reportedly had nightmares during the shoot. On the day of the big escape scene, she asked to walk through the entire sequence blindfolded, just to build comfort. When she breaks through the smoke and fire, it's not just a character surviving, it's an actor reclaiming control from very real fear. 9. The toy soldier that cried paint. In one scene, Harry crushes a toy soldier beneath his heel during a chaotic office raid. That toy wasn't store-bought, it was handmade by a model maker who specialized in hyper-real military miniatures. Inside the figure, a capsule of red paint. Cameron wanted a visceral crunch, something subtle but unsettling. When the boot landed, the soldier leaked blood. One crew member swore it looked like the figurine was bleeding, muttering, "Did that thing just cry?" The effect was so eerie, they kept it in, so that brief moment of destruction, it wasn't just dramatic, it was engineered heartbreak in plastic form. 10. The tango was powered by real tension. Behind the fiery chemistry of the tango scene was an actual disagreement. Arnold wanted to toss in a comedic one-liner mid-dance. Jamie Lee Curtis, invested in the emotional arc, pushed back. They argued, amicably but firmly, right before cameras rolled. Cameron, sensing magic, kept the friction alive by giving them minimal direction. The result? That stiff, sultry tango drips with authentic unease. What you thought was spy seduction was actually two pros navigating pride, creative tension, and stilettos. The best part, Curtis won the argument. The one-liner was scrapped. Instead, the silence between steps said everything. Awkward, intimate. A Cold War in heels. 11. That cigarette scene was improvised and controversial. There's a moment where Harry lights a cigarette, stares into the distance, and sighs. Oddly introspective for a spy flick. That's because it wasn't in the script. Schwarzenegger, a former smoker, lit up between takes. Cameron saw it and rolled the camera without warning. He loved the vulnerability. But studio execs panicked, worried it glamorized smoking. The scene was cut from US theatrical release, but survived in some international versions. If you've seen it, you caught a raw, unscripted beat of humanity. Harry wasn't posturing, he was breathing. The smoke wasn't prop fog, it was Arnold's ghost of a habit caught on film. 12. The mechanical bird that got upstaged by real poop. Early in the film, a majestic bird flies overhead as Harry infiltrates the snowy mansion. That bird was a $30,000 animatronic designed for precise aerial choreography. But during one take, a real seagull flew into frame and dropped an unscheduled payload right onto a prop guard's hat. The crew cracked up. Cameron, ever the perfectionist, was livid until he saw the footage. The contrast between majestic animatronic glide and chaotic bird poop was too good. So edited out, the incident became a legendary blooper reel staple. You thought it was elegance. In reality, it was expensive tech upstaged by avian mischief. 13. The Arabic dialogue wasn't actually Arabic. Simon's fiery monologues sound convincing, but many of his Arabic lines weren't real language. Actor Art Malik born in Pakistan and unfamiliar with Arabic, delivered mostly phonetic gibberish based on a vague script guide. The production planned to dub over his lines for international audiences. Some did, some didn't. Native Arabic speakers later pointed out that what he said was often nonsense, adding an eerie quality to his speeches. Cameron defended it as emotional tone over accuracy. So that sinister-sounding rhetoric, it was pure sound design. You thought you were hearing hate. You were hearing syllables sculpted for maximum unease. 14. The unblinking desk guard wasn't acting. In one scene at Omega Sector HQ, a stone-faced desk guard watches silently as chaos brews. Viewers often assume he's a background actor. In truth, he was an actual security consultant hired to advise on realism and thrown into the scene last minute when an extra called out sick. Told to just sit and watch, he didn't blink once during the take. His unflinching gaze weirded out the cast so much that Cameron kept using him in wide shots. That's still unsettling presence, not performance, just a retired Marine doing his job. You thought he was fake. He thought you were a threat. 15. The final smile wasn't acting, it was relief. In the last scene, as Harry dances with Helen, he gives a soft, loaded smile. It lands differently, wistful, worn, weirdly gentle. That wasn't scripted. After wrapping his final scene, Arnold was told a stuntman had recovered from a serious injury sustained days earlier. The smile? A gut-level exhale of tension. Cameron captured it and knew that was the ending. Not fireworks, not heroics. Just a man grateful the chaos ended safely. So if the last frame feels unusually human for an action movie, that's because it is. It's Arnold, not Harry, smiling for real. Relief masquerading as character, fiction bowing to life. So now you know, True Lies was never just a polished action comedy. It was a layered contradiction, part spy thriller, part domestic farce, part logistical nightmare. Behind every clean stunt was chaos. Behind every confident smile, a missed cue, a hidden fear, or an inside joke. The tango wasn't smooth, the fire wasn't safe, the bullets weren't always fake, and that final smile, it wasn't Harry, it was Arnold, exhaling the madness of making it to the end. That's the weird magic of movies like this. They're too big to fail, yet too wild to fully control. And somewhere in that gap, the strange truth creeps through. These aren't just fun facts. They're emotional fossils buried in the film's surface. Moments where the illusion cracked just enough for something real to leak through. Whether it's a panicked stunt double, a joke hidden in a prop drawer, or a smile that wasn't acting, it all tells a bigger story. Perfection is boring. Mess is unforgettable, and if peeling back those layers makes you see your favorite movies differently, maybe even more fondly, consider subscribing. We're pushing for that first 1,000, and your click helps us dive deeper, go weirder, and bring you the untold stories Hollywood forgets.